It's that never say die attitude. It's that never quit. And that's why I didn't entertain that with Charles Oliveira. If you've got that belt, you haven't got that by chance. You don't just stumble into title fights. You've got that through perseverance, adversity. And Dominick Cruz got that in abundance. Now, it's all pretty widely accepted that the Bantamweight division in the UFC is one of the highest caliber divisions in all of mixed martial arts. So it's very easy to get caught up with the Sean O'Malley's of the world, the Petr Yans, the Corey Sandhagens. And then I texted my boys the other day, I had a thought. Dominick Cruz, ? Is he going to remind us he's one of the best bantamweights in the world? And he definitely did. Anyway, before I jump into the video, you know what to do. Hit the like, subscribe and the little bell icon to stay up to date with the content on the channel. If you don't know what I do here on Casuals Corner, I bring you behind the scenes footage, interviews with fighters, breakdowns like this and daily MMA shorts. So get involved in the comments, hit the buttons, all that good stuff. Let's get into it. The Dominator was back with a bang. And like I said, I put in the group chat, I said, is this going to be the fight that he says, did everyone forget about me? I'm just floating around with 3 wins to some of the highest caliber fighters of those lower divisions we've ever seen, Olympians in Henry Cejudo. And the fact that that fight was dubious anyway, because we know the heart of Cruz, and I don't think that should have been stopped. But anyway, I didn't even mean to bring that up, and it's like him, he brings it up at every given chance, not even intentionally, but you can just see how much it angers him. He just doesn't want to let it go because he's always got that chip on his shoulder and he's always prideful that he's tough. A lot of people underestimate Dominick Cruz, but he is very tough and he can take a lot of damage, and the fact that it ended like that just doesn't sit right, and I love it. I think it's a more aggressive, more proactive and more valid, to be perfectly honest, a similar approach that Sean O'Malley has with his loss to Chito Vera. Like I said, a lot more valid and a lot more intriguing to me. But Pedro Munhoz is one tricky customer, and Dominick Cruz did not have this easy. He did not walk back into a nice little tune-up fight and think, oh cool, I'm gonna roll back into the top 5. No, he had Casey Kenny before, and what was interesting was Cruz actually said in an interview that I watched that he got that Casey Kenny fight because he was trying to mimic the fighters he was going to be fighting in 2 and 3 times, and he knew he had a good gas tank, he was going to get the rounds in, he was going to be durable, and he could sort of try and get back into the flow of things. And now this sounds arrogant and this sounds like something maybe people say to be dramatic, but if you watch Dominick Cruz, he's very matter of fact, and I had every belief that is exactly why he took that particular fight. But with Pedro Munhoz, again, tricky. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, explosive hands, and in 29 fights he's never been finished. Nasty low kicks to add on to that as well. And I hate using the term gatekeeper because it does sound disrespectful, but Pedro Munhoz is the gatekeeper between not good and a belt. It's the upper echelon and then the rest of the world, because he really is the best of the rest, Pedro Munhoz. And you look at his CV, he's had some incredible fights, and like I said, he's never been finished. And you look at who he's fought, and like I said, it didn't go Dominick Cruz's way. I think he was slept twice, and we forget he's a champ. He's been a champ twice as well. Won it, lost it, won it, lost it, and that takes a different type of mentality. And there's something that everyone has in common when they have that belt. Maybe after they win that belt it's a different thing, but there's everyone that has something in common. If they've got a gold belt around their shoulder, it's that never say die attitude. It's that never quit, and that's why I didn't entertain that with Charles Oliveira. If you've got that belt, you haven't got that by chance. You don't just stumble into title fights. You've got that through perseverance, adversity. And Dominick Cruz got that in abundance. Like I said, he got slept, chin to the canvas, by the way. Not just clipped and he was out for a second. He was tensed, body falling, mid-air, not very good for the referee, tensed out a couple of times. But he got back into that fight. And I must be honest, when he got clipped like that twice, I thought, Pedro Munhoz has looked like he's just got the rhythm of Dominick Cruz's striking. And then I was reminded in the second and third round, no one really has the rhythm of Dominick Cruz's striking. And people are going to come back to me with Cody Garbrandt, and I'll have that conversation another time, who, by the way, didn't have a great weekend, and I'm sure I'll make a video on that. But he's got that mentality, Dominick Cruz. He's got that mentality, and he didn't let that stop him. And my point was that no one has that rhythm on him to a certain extent. It's so difficult because it's so confusing. There's so many looks, there's so many angles, there's so many attacks, there's so many feints, there's so many everything that it's really, really hard to get that rhythm. And Dominick Cruz just got into his. So the second and third round, it was a takeover, and his striking was a joy to watch. Of course, there was always the threat of those powerful hands we've seen Pedro Munhoz. He's got, I think, the most finished knockouts in Bantamweight history. He's a crazy powerful person. But Dominick Cruz took over, and he made that fight his own. And I didn't think that he was going to be able to get back into it. I thought if he could clip him twice, he's going to clip him again. And it was so bad in the first round, I thought that would put him out. But no, and I'm so glad he proved me wrong on that. I'm so glad, and it couldn't be more wrong. Like I said, he hit his rhythm, he picked his shot. I was going to say the jab looked nice, but it's hard to say any shot looked good because he varies them so much. He doesn't throw one thing a lot more than others. He throws everything equally distributed, and it's such a puzzle. But he did land some really nice jabs, and that big right looping overhand he throws when he drops the left shoulder is so intriguing. It's awkward and it's exciting to watch, and I'm glad he got the win because I want to see him fighting those top people. I want to see him fighting the top of that division. And Dominick Cruz has just come back on the scene and said, if you weren't sure that the bantamweight division is probably the most stacked, there you go. And he's back in the title picture. Who does he get next? Jose Aldo is the rumour. Now, come on. That's the fight to make, surely. Surely the fight to make. I'm not mad about a TJ Dominick Cruz fight. Here's one. Sean O'Malley. Now, I know Dominick Cruz doesn't fight below him, and I get that. But their paths may meet. And I said before, Sean O'Malley's one of the best strikers in the UFC. And again, that's an objective fact. His strikes landed and absorbed the differentials in history are some of the best. His striking stats are some of the best, again, in history. So that's a matter of fact. And seeing them two in there would be very, very exciting because so far we haven't really, I know we can come back to the Cheeto loss, seen someone that can stifle the attack of Sean O'Malley of recent. And his striking levels are just going through the roof. So to see Dominick Cruz potentially at his peak, realistically, it could be his peak of his career, and Sean O'Malley, that could be fireworks. But like I said, that will have to be in a couple of years or so, I imagine. And will Dominick Cruz still be doing it at 38? I'm not so sure, but you never know with him. And also, he hasn't taken a lot of damage. He's had injuries, of course, but he hasn't taken a lot of damage because of how sporadic his fights are. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. Who do you think he should match up with next? And you know what to do, you know the protocol. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the content, hit the subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and hit the little bell icon so you can stay up to date with the content. As always, thank you very much. Enjoy the video. Peace.